короче, там придется. Пойдем тогда, так?
Добрый вечер.
Да и ты не хворай. А я ваш преподаватель статистики. Да, хотите, я вам посчитаю население Ирландии, и оно будет намного больше, чем население Китая.
В смысле, как это?
Ну, очень просто. Я буду считать основополагающим фактором, что будем считать только рыжих.
Почему?
Ну, а вот, например, я так хочу. Я буду считать человеком только человека с рыжим цветом волос. В Ирландии все рыжие, а в Китае их нет.
А она тоже рыжая.
Вот она и человек, она, я и говорю.
Ты человек, ну,
Финляндия,
значит, ты
Ирландия,
рыжая.
да.
Ну, давайте. Ладно, я пойду отдохну. Вы
Давай.
говорите.
Женщины очень разумные животные. Вот да. Внутри каждой из нас есть цыпленок. Вот ты научись с ним жить, ему доверять. Вот что твое внутреннее я говорит, так и делай. Не надо слушать маму, папу, дочку, мужу.
Правда.
Женщины очень разумные животные. Мне посчастливилось. Я поверила своему цыпленку в 15 лет. И с удовольствием 43 года с ним живу. Вот как он скажет, так и будет.
Ну, видишь, за...
Любовь.
Ну, хотите за любовь?
Нет.
Я не знаю. Ой-ой.
Нет, давай за что-нибудь конкретное.
Да.
Я поняла. Давай второй раз за тебя. Правильно. Ну вот смотри, сколько вещей. Не, давай второй раз за тебя. Во-первых, я очень не люблю самогон. Ну уж если я все равно согласилась пить не водку, а спиртное, давай от этого получим максимум удовольствия. Давай за тебя.
Давайте.
Пусть у тебя все будет так, как тебе хочется. Тебе. Твоему цыпленку. Вперед. Фу, какая противная.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott Feinberg from The Hollywood Reporter. Thank you for joining us. I am here with Juho Kuosmanen, the director of the Finnish Oscar entry, Compartment Number 6. Juho, great to see you. Where am I speaking to you from? Or where are you speaking to me from?
From Helsinki,
Okay.
Finland. Yeah, I'm at home. Finally.
Nice. Well, the scene that we are focused on today is interesting for a number of reasons. I mean, this movie, as folks know, is primarily set on a train, but this is a scene during a brief period when they are off the train. And I wonder if you can talk about its significance in the film and why it's the scene that you selected.
It's kind of a specific scene because it's the way it was made. It's actually the only scene that is partly improvised in this film. But it also relates to this idea of authenticity that we tried so much to achieve with this film, and I think in this scene we got with what we wanted, like losing a little bit of the control and letting things happen. I think we achieved more than we lost. So in that sense, it's kind of a good example of our way of filmmaking.
Well, and I think also it seems to me maybe it's a turning point in the story in the sense that this woman and this man seem to be polar opposites. She's coming out of this relationship, right, where she sort of thinks of herself as an intellectual and he's certainly not. And yet here she sees him differently because she's with his foster mother and seeing that he actually does have another side to him, right?
Yes. This was the main motive of Juha, the Russian guy, to take her to take Laura to this place is to not just to introduce this woman, but actually to show the way this woman is seeing him. Like, because I don't know, maybe she's the only one who has watched, like, saw him in a good light, think that he's a good man. Yeah, so this gaze is the thing that he wants to show. Yeah.
So that's the function of him in this scene. I wonder if we can talk about how she perhaps is changed by the scene, because I know that you say, a big part of this is her discovery that she maybe is more comfortable not amongst intellectuals, but amongst common people. And here we've got the foster mother telling jokes about, corny, silly jokes about redheads in China and drinking moonshine. And in some ways, she seems more comfortable here than she did at the beginning of the film at this party with intellectuals.
Yes, because basically the personal journey of the protagonist is from this fancy Moscovian apartment filled with nice people, intellectuals, something that she would like to be, but she's not, and therefore she's feeling this as an outsider all the time, and she's hiding herself, and she's trying to be something she's not, which is really uncomfortable state of mind. And I think when she goes to this trip and has to share this compartment with Ljoha, this annoying Russian guy who, like you said, doesn't feel like intellectual at all. It's actually like she's almost like watching a mirror and slowly accepting that this is the way I look. This is who I am.
And the petroglyphs are such an interesting aspect of this, because I guess, they represent permanence and, the history, and yet the desire to see them that she is always talking about is basically just quoting what somebody else has said to her. And I wonder if you can just talk about that aspect of things. Does she even personally really want to see these, or is it just because she's supposed to want to see them?
Yes, you got it exactly right. It's kind of a stolen dream. It's like it's mentioned that it's actually Irina's dream to see this. And I think her motive to see these petroglyphs is actually more to be the person who could please Irina. Like, okay, yeah, like when Irina says, like, I'm really interested of these petroglyphs. And when you are in love, or you would like to be loved, you are like, pretend, yes, actually, I have the same interest. We are so similar. And this is all fake, because she's so insecure. I think she's trying to be loved as a person that she is not, which is not a good position to be.
Right.
Yeah.
She's not being authentic, not being her authentic self. I guess Let's go back to the very beginning. This film was inspired by a novel by Rosa Lixum, but it has changed considerably with her blessing. And I wonder if you can talk about how you first came across the novel and why you think it appealed to you. I think there are some perhaps parallels that you see in this story to filmmaking.
When I read this novel like 10 years ago, I was immediately very interested about it. It was really inspiring because it's a very cinematic book. There are many scenes that you can feel, you can see strong visuals, and at the same time, I was like, really, I haven't done even my debut film yet, so I felt that, okay, at the same time, I realized this is impossible to do now. And also it had like multiple time layers and lots of characters and all that. So even though I felt this is inspiring film novel for filmmaking, I tried to abandon it. Like, yeah, no, I'm not going to touch it. And but when I met Rosa Liksom a few years after, I was still thinking about this novel. I asked her permit, like, what do you think about this idea? And she gave us all the freedom to do whatever we want. So I think that was the moment when I really started to believe that, okay, it is possible, because when we have all freedom to do what we want, then, well, nothing is impossible in a way.
Well, this brings us to an important part of this challenge for you of making this film, which is that you actually, with a small crew and your two main actors, actually shot this on the train that they are apparently on as characters. Talk about what a challenge that is.
You can decide whether the challenges are interesting or boring ones. And for me, these kind of locations, like authentic locations, and which are not like totally in your own control, for me as a director, I'm so much more awake. I'm all the time inspired, and all these challenges and obstacles that you're having, they're just like kind of inspiring limitations or something like that. And if you're working on a studio, you could create basically anything you want. You have all the possibilities, but you have to put huge amount of your energy and focus on this illusion that you're creating. And we couldn't afford this LED thing, this new kind of studio. So the other option was to shoot it on a green screen, and I felt that I'm not going to do it. I don't want the actors to look on a green screen if there's an option that they could actually watch out from a window, seeing the landscape passing by. I have to say, in one point, even though this was like my dream to do a film like this, and at some point I was regretting, like, I told before the shootings, I told in one interview that filmmaking shouldn't be easy. It means that you don't care what you are doing if you are just trying to find the easiest way. And at some point I was thinking that filmmaking shouldn't be this hard either.
Right.
We started with these scenes and we were all there with our film crew, and I think it really created nice team spirit as well. So we had like a crazy experience, so it was nice to continue the shootings.
I would guess that your two closest collaborators on this were the actors who play your main characters. And I wonder if you knew them before this film, if they knew each other, because, I mean, this was obviously a very close collaboration. And if they didn't work out with each other, or if you weren't sure that they were right for the part, you could have had a very bad experience here. How did you all find each other?
Well, with Sadie Harla, the Finnish actress, we didn't know before, but we had a common friend who proposed that I should meet her when I was still trying to figure out this character, and we were still writing the script. And I felt like now I need somebody that not necessarily the actress for this part, but somebody that I can really start, creating a real life character. In the end, it was impossible to think anybody else. Right. But then we had the difficulties to find the Russian guy, because also in our script, the guy was so much older, as it is in the novel. And what I saw in Karlovy Vary Film Festival, I saw this film called The Bull. It's a student film, Russian film that was playing in East of West competition. I was there in a jury, and I really liked his performance in the film. And then I wanted to meet him, and the casting director told me that, this is the totally opposite kind of a guy that we've been searching for all the time, and he's like half of the age than your character in the script. I was like, yeah, but I just, I want to meet him anyway. And I didn't even know why. I was just like, yeah, he's a good actress, but in Russia there are like huge amount of great actors. But anyway, we went to Moscow to meet him with Sadie, and we've already met a lot of Russian guys. And this felt immediately right. It was not just the way he acted or she acted, but it was the combination, the way they felt together. And the only problem was that it was not matching the guy from our script.
Yeah, right.
But for me, casting is such an important moment, and especially in this kind of film that actually builds on this chemistry between these two main characters. So I was ready to change the guy from the script to match better with this Yura Borisov guy.
Right.
And I think that was really a defining moment of the whole film. It was also before this thing, I always pitched this idea that it's about two different kind of characters who are trapped in this same compartment. But I realized when trying to figure out the reason why I feel that Yura is the one, why this couple is so good, I realized that it's not about two opposite kind of a character. It's actually two exactly similar kind of
Absolutely
characters who are just like in the beginning they are pretending to be different. And so it was late information for myself, but I was so happy to really find him. I think that really nailed what the film is about.
Absolutely. Worked out beautifully, and congratulations. Best of luck the rest of the way, and thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.